Yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon, all of you. And today we start with the quote: "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." So normally we underestimate ourselves, right? So many people don't do or achieve many things because of lack of confidence. But actually, everybody has infinite potential. There is no difference actually. Everybody is born equally and with equal potential. But only thing is the potential may vary in the field they like. Okay, so you may be good in one particular field, another person may be good in another particular field. So it depends on your passion. So you have to understand your passion and you have to understand where you can achieve. But definitely, whatever you do or whatever you believe, it is less than what you can achieve. Okay. So it's a very nice quote. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Okay, and today is the birthday of James Hardwick. Anybody remember who is this James Hardwick? Name?
Neutron discovered.
Yeah, he is neutron discoverer. Okay, so English physicist who received the Nobel Prize for Physics for his discovery of the neutron. He studied at Cambridge and in Berlin under Geiger. Geiger, you heard about name? Geiger counter in physics, and then worked at the Cavendish Laboratory with Rutherford. I think you are familiar with Rutherford, where he investigated the structure of the atom. He worked in the scattering of alpha particles and on new nuclear disintegration. By bombarding beryllium with alpha particles, Chadwick discovered the neutron, a neutral particle in the atom's nucleus, for which he received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1935. In 1932, Chadwick coined the name neutron, which he described in an article in the journal Nature. He led the UK's work in the atom bomb in World War II and was knighted in 1945. So that is about James Chadwick. So we'll have the sixth class, nonlinear hyperbolic problems. So we had a class on MATLAB introduction, and then we have a class on matrix solvers, and then we have spent one class on elliptic solvers, and then parabolic solvers and linear hyperbolic solvers. And now we do nonlinear hyperbolic solvers. And one thing, don't have the fear or uh, mental block that coding is difficult or tough. I am giving the easiest problems. They are very, very simple problems. Only if you just divide the pre-processing, processing, and post-processing. Pre-processing some 7 to 8 lines, which will have the initialization that is given in the problem. And the processing for each type of scheme, we have only 3 to 4 lines, or if you have implicit method, some 6 to 7 lines will be there. And post processing, just plotting them, and that also takes only 3 to 4 lines. And there is not much logic is involved, not much. And they are the simplest problems. Actually, it takes only half an hour or 45 minutes to write the whole program. Right? It will not take much time. Just you have to develop confidence in that. That's all. If you have the fear, the mind will not work. You will do same mistakes again and again like that. But usually we should not repeat the same mistakes. But once you understand some mistakes, okay, these types of things I should not write, and it will become easier, right? And anything you want to discuss about? Okay, have all of you? I didn't go through the assignment submissions. Have all of you submitted?
No, sir, I haven't submitted yet, sir, like any of the assignments because my laptop was under repairing. So it was like there was a problem of hard disk, so that's why I couldn't even attend the classes. Later I followed the lectures, but I haven't submitted the assignment. So once I receive it, sir, I'll be submitting immediately, sir. Now I am doing it from phone.
And okay, you have hardware problem. What about other people? Any software problem?
Sir, please tell something about the time marching, the given condition that dt is 0.015 or like.
That is choosing DT or what? I didn't understand it there.
Sir,
Yeah.
how to do the time marching in the assignment number 3, whatever the condition is given for dt is equal to 0.015.
The delta first grid you have done, right? Dx you have some length is there, some dx will be taken, and uh, grid can be generated, right? So the total number of grid points nx is equal to some length by dx plus 1. You will have the grid points. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Then either you choose dt or you choose the current number. If current
Yes,
number is chosen, then you can find out what is dt.
sir, but the question, the given question that dt is given, no?
Okay,
So
if dt is
we have
given,
to
no problem. So dt will be given and you will be asked to find out the result after some time. Okay, so you can find out how many time steps you have to make, the number of iterations.
So, sir, if we take the current number for 1 or something 0.25 or like, so
Now,
it
if
will.
you are given dt, current number you have to find out. If you are given current number, you have to find out dt.
Okay, sir.
Am I right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay.
So, sir, can you tell about the time marching for time marching for dt 0.015?
See, now today also we are going to do time marching only, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
you try to see, and if there is still doubt, you will ask. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Today nonlinear hyperbolic problems will take. Okay, nonlinear equation is dou u by dou t is equal to minus u dou u by dou x. It is repetition only, whatever you are doing in a regular class. So this is written as dou by dou x of u square by 2, and u square by 2 is written as e. So dou u by dou t is equal to minus dou e by dou x. This is the nonlinear equation where capital E is equal to u square by 2. Okay, so this is the equation that is to be solved. Okay, what is the problem then? Okay, this is the problem. So initially I have this wave. This wave is traveling and I have to find out at different times how the wave is. A discussion of various numerical schemes will be accompanied by their applications to the example problem posed as follows. A discontinuity is described by this function. U of x0 is equal to 1, 0 to 2. So 0 to 2, its value is 1. And u is 0 from 2 to 4. So 2 to 4, the function is 0. Okay, so this is shown in the figure. It is to be used as initial data to investigate its propagation throughout the domain. So this particular wave is traveling based on the governing equation that is given there. Okay, so if this is this, the total length is 4. Okay, so we take dx as some 0.1. So if dx is 0.1, the total number of nodes will be length is 4 by dx, that is 4 by 0.1, 40 plus 1. So 41 nodes and 40 intervals. Okay, so that is the way it will be. And so here,
Sir,
yes,
sir, please repeat.
the total length is 4. Am I right? 0 to
Yes,
4.
sir.
This is the total length. And I am taking each dx is 0.4, 0.1, sorry. Dx is 0.1. So how many intervals will be
Okay,
there?
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
4 by 0.1, 40. And the nodes will be 41 plus 1. Okay,
Yes, yes,
so
yes,
that's
sir,
it.
yes, sir.
Okay, and so initially I am writing the code for all the methods. Okay, there are so many methods. Okay, this is the way I am writing. Okay, while one, I am giving a bigger loop, right? So while is the beginning and the end will be at the end of the program. Okay, so here I am asking the user to choose a particular scheme. Okay, so fprintf, this is the one which you get on the screen. So available choices. This /n is next line. So first it will give available choices, and in the next line it will give one lacks explicit method. Then it goes to the next line, lacks vendor of explicit method. And third one, McCormack explicit method. And fourth one, first order append explicit method. And fifth one, first order append implicit method. And sixth method, beam bombing implicit method. And seventh one, flux corrector transport method. And in the next line, it will give exit for any other number. So if user gives any other number, it has to exit. Okay, that instruction I am giving to the user through this printf statements. Okay, now I have to wait for the choice of the user. Okay, that will be given like this, ch. Okay, some character, ch is equal to input, enter the choice of scheme. Okay, so this will come onto the screen, enter the choice, because it is given in the quotes, and it will wait for the response. Okay, because it is input command is there, it will wait for the response of the user, and whatever user gives, that goes to ch. Any doubt you ask me, right? And once the user gives ch, I have to decide about the method. Here I am giving switch this ch value. If this case is 1, and it will display, that is, we have chosen lacks explicit method, 2 lacks vendor of McCormack, first order append implicit, beam warming, correct. So it will give you, you have chosen this particular method. And if it is any other number, it displays invalid number and return. Return means it will come out of the program. It will stop the program. Okay, so this is the way I have written at the beginning. Okay, so then I have to initialize. So initialization, length is 4, dx is 0.1. So nx is the number of nodes. Nx is equal to length by dx plus 1. And I am just generating the values of x at each node. So x is equal to 0 to 4 with intervals of 0.1. So it will give the x array, x 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, like that up to 4. So there will be 41 points. Okay, and actually the problem is given that take dt as 0.1, and you have to get the result up to 1.8 seconds at different intervals. Okay, that is the problem. Okay, so dt will be given to you, and you will be asked to get the wave at different times. Okay, the total time is 1.8 seconds. So the total number of time steps is n is equal to total time by dt. So this gives the number of time steps. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now I have to initialize. Okay, u value I have to initialize. What it is given is up to 2. Up to 2 it is 1, and after 2 it will be 0. Okay, so 2 means what is the point number here?
21.
21, right? So 1 to 21 I have to give 2, and after that it is 0, like that. So that is the way. U1 to 21, 1. U22 to 41, 0. I am initializing. Okay, so U and UN I am giving. UN means the new values that are calculated. Okay, so that also I will initialize first, because I should not leave anything uninitialized, any array. Okay, so I am giving the same values, and U star also I am giving, because sometimes you need in some other scheme, different schemes, I have U star, E star, like that I have. So for that purpose, I am just U star is also giving the same values. I am initializing U, UN, and U star. Same way I am giving. You can write like that, or I can give, instead of the second and third lines, UN is equal to U, I can give. u star is equal to u, I can give. Just like that I can give. Okay, I need not give like this. It is my will and wish. Okay, now current number C is equal to dt by dx. Okay, and here epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, this is for flux corrected transport. You have epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 are there. For that code, I am just initializing epsilon 1 is 0.01, epsilon 2 is 0.001. And then another thing is I have E. E is u square by 2, right? So that E also I have to initialize. So for I equal to 1 to nx, EI is equal to ui square by 2, ui star into ui star by 2, and E star I is equal to u star I by 2. And I am giving plot x un, so that the initial wave I can see in the figure plot. Okay, so this is the way I am initializing. Any doubt in this?
Sir, once the E part, sir, can you please
Yeah,
explain
E
it
is
once
equal to
again?
u square by 2, right? We have
Yes, yes, sir.
that's what I have taken. For at each point, I'm finding out E.
Sir, epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, it's a error.
So this epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, they are used in flux corrected transport. That method is there now. You add damping, you remove damping like that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Do you remember? So there will be epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. Okay, adding epsilon 1 into something and removing epsilon 2 into something like that. So that is there in that. We will see where it is used. Okay, for that purpose I am giving, because I am writing a code for all the methods, a single code I am writing. That's why I am written that. Is it okay?
Sir, please repeat. I don't understand.
Which one?
Epsilon 1 and epsilon 2.
Epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, these are the variables which are used in flux corrected transport method, FCT. Okay, these are used only in that particular scheme. In the other FTCS, McCormack and all those things, it is not used. But because these are needed, whenever that scheme is there, that will take those values. Otherwise, it will not use those values. I am writing a code, a common code for all the schemes. That's why I am writing them. Okay.
So, sir, in the
Yes.
question, whatever the schemes are mentioned,
Yeah.
like we have to first initialize like based on those schemes.
Yeah.
Like in the first, like if some like this scheme is not mentioned, then we will not be that is writing this epsilon and that is one.
Yeah. If you are using FCT only, you have to use this. Otherwise, you need not use them.
And so kindly, so these lines for I equals to 1, then so there is
This
2
one.
nx. So this line, so like from
Yeah.
the initialization, kindly please make understand.
No, it is a loop, right? At each node, I have to calculate E, right?
Yes, sir.
At each node, E is equal to U square by 2.
Yes, sir.
So to calculate at each loop, I am putting in a for loop. I
Okay,
value
sir.
is changing 1 to 41. So at each value, at each node, it will calculate U square by 2 and put in E.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay. Any other question here? Okay. So first I will see lax explicit method. Okay, so for any method, so this is common, right? That's why I'm writing a single code. If I write code for each scheme, I have to just copy and paste for another scheme and copy and paste for another scheme. This will not change. Okay, so lax explicit method. Okay, this is the way I will get. And
So why we have written like x is equal to 0 to 0.124?
Because the values of x at each node I want. So what is the value? It starts from 0 and it adds 0.1, 0.1, 0.1 like that up to 4. So this becomes an array of 41 values. X1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 0.1, x3 is equal to 0.2 like that. That's what it is, a compact. MATLAB is very easy and useful way. And if you want to write it in C, you have to put it in a loop. For I is equal to 1 to nx, initial x1 I have to initialize to 0, and each xi plus 1 is equal to xi plus dx, like that I have to write. Okay, so there is a loop I have to write, but it is not necessary. Is this clear or not? X is an array having the values from 0 to 4 with steps of 0.1.
Sir, we have taken dx is equal to 0.1 na, for it.
Yeah, that's what 0.1 here I have given. 0.1 is the interval. So x first value is 0, next value is 0.1, next value is 0.2, like that. So it takes values from 0 to 4 with the steps of 0.1. So the x values, x coordinate values at each node it will calculate. And 41 values it will be an array. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the person who asked the question and that's
Yes,
also the same
yes.
person or different? Okay, who asked the question?
Sir Arvind, understood.
Okay,
Sir.
is it clear? Okay. Okay. Next, I'm going to this. Okay, this is the equation. Okay, so here, this is the value lax scheme. Lax scheme, when you write, first you write FTCS scheme, and UIN is replaced by the neighboring points ui plus 1 and ui minus 1. This is the way. And this E is u square by 2. So I have to write u square here. Instead of u, in the place of u, ui plus 1 and square, ui minus 1 and square. Okay, this is the scheme. Okay, only single line. And this I have to calculate. So that I will write in a code. Okay, here what I will do is number of, first I have to write for each iteration. For iterations, how many iterations? 1 to n. Okay, where n is the number of time steps. And switch ch, case 1, right? So if ch is 1, it has to do lax explicit. Okay, so this case 1, this is the one lax explicit. Okay, what is the formula? Here, this formula I am writing just as it is. For I equal to 2 to nx minus 1, because 1 is boundary point, it will not change. Nx also boundary point, it will not change. In between only the values are to be changed. So 2
Sir,
to
the
nx
second
minus.
equation, please repeat.
Which one?
Sir, in previous slide.
Previous slide. This one.
Sir, the last equation.
Yeah, here, this equation is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, from here at E, I am substituting u square. Ei plus 1 is ui plus 1 square. Ei minus 1 is ui minus 1 square.
Okay, sir, understood.
Okay. Okay, so this equation I have to implement there. Okay, this is new value. So un of I is equal to half into ui plus 1i plus ui minus 1i, and here c by 4. Okay, so 0.5 c I will write. So ui plus 1 square, ui minus 1 square. That's what I will write here. uni is equal to 0.5 into ui plus 1 plus ui minus 1 minus, this is 0.5 c or
0.25 should be there.
0.25 c, right? It should be 0.25 c. Okay, there's a mistake here. It should be 0.25 c. No. Actually, what I have written, no. So here
Sir,
E I have taken.
it's okay only, sir. Last one, like the previous slide.
Yeah, sir.
If it is E, it is 0.5. If it is U, I have to write 0.25. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's 0.5 is right. So 0.5 C, EI plus 1 minus EI minus 1. Okay, so after calculating this, what I am doing is E I am updating with the new values. Is it okay? New values
Yes, sir.
are calculated, so E I am calculating new values. Okay, just this is the
Sir.
loop. Yes.
Sir, for iteration 1 to n is the time step. Please explain that slide.
This one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For each time, I am going to calculate the U values, right? And I have to get the new wave. After 0.1 seconds or 0.2, what is the time step?
0.1, sir.
0.1 second. So after 0.1 second, how will be the wave? After 0.1 second, how will be the wave? Like every 0.1 second, I have to get the wave. So
Sir, can
I
we write
have to, yes.
can we write the equation in terms of u in express in terms of e of I plus 1 or e of I minus 1?
I didn't understand this.
So this equation u and I, whatever it is written,
Yeah,
so
this is a
we
new
can
value I am calculating using the old values, and I am updating this value. So I am going to calculate all new values for u after 0.1 seconds.
yes.
I have original wave like this, step wave, and I am calculating after 0.1 second what will be the values of u. Okay, so I get again all the array, so I can get what's the wave after 0.1 seconds. So after every
So,
0.1 second, I have to repeat and calculate.
sir, I have a question, sir. This equation, can we write the previous slide equations, last equation,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
place of this?
This I can write. I am writing this.
Yes, sir.
I can write this also because E is nothing but U square only.
Yes, sir. Yes.
No problem. Here I can write 0.25. Here ui plus 1 square, ui minus 1 square, like that I can write.
Okay.
Sir, E is U square or sir U by 2 whole square, sir?
No, no, no. U square by 2. So this is this way. This is this way. U square by 2. E is equal to U square by 2.
Okay, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir, understood.
Okay. So just this is the one. It will calculate after for each iteration. So what next I have to do is I have to print out the plot the wave after each iteration if I want.
Sir,
But yes,
sir, if I don't write that switch ch, then what will happen?
what is that?
If I don't write switch ch,
You don't
switch
write
ch, switch ch.
switch ch.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
this if I don't
Then
write, why? What is the purpose of this? I am writing case one code, case 2 another code, case 3 another code.
okay, sir.
Okay, so if I give 1, it will execute lax explicit method. So I will show you the code. Just if I just okay, this is the original code. Okay, so solution of nonlinear hyperbolic equation ut plus uux is equal to uxx. Okay, submitted by Gupta. Okay, CLC clear all. So while 1, I am giving all the methods at printf here, and then switch ch, it will give what is the method I am using, 7 methods. Okay, then otherwise invalid number. This is the first one I shown you, and then this length dx and all those things I am showing here, current number epsilon 1, epsilon 2, like that. Okay, so after this plot xun, it's over. Now this is the main loop. For iterations equal to 1 to n, switch ch. This is the first code for lax explicit. And case 2, this is the code for lax Van Droff. And this case 3, this is the code for McCormack. Just 2-3 lines only. For each method, I am writing the code here. Okay, after all these things, once the switch is over, then this is the one for plotting. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, once it is calculated, now code at the end. So the new values I am putting in because I have to update it, right? After each iteration, the new values are to be put in U, and then you have to calculate UN again, like that. So I want to plot it. For each iteration, you can plot, but there will be too many plots. For each 2 iterations, I want to submit, plot it. If you want for each 5 iterations, I have to put like this. That is remainder of iterations and 5. If I give after each 5 iterations, it will do this. If command will be true only based on this number I give. You can print out plot it after every 5 iterations, 10 iterations, 20 iterations based on the total number of iterations. Suppose I have 500 iterations. If I print for each iteration 500 plots on the same figure, it will give like a black diagram like that. So I want to plot it after each few iterations. Okay, here I am giving just 2. That is after every 2 iterations. For every 2 iterations, it will print once. So plot X and UN. Hold on. Hold on means on the same plot, I want to get another one. And end.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the reminder, the REM function,
Yeah.
sir, it returns the remainder.
Remainder, yeah.
So then
If this remainder equal to 1,
Acha.
right, then it
So it
will,
has to be 0, I guess.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
It should be
anything
zero.
if it will give odd values or it will give even values. No
Okay,
problem.
yes, sir. That's also.
Okay. And this end is for this if loop.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please explain again the remainder.
See, this is iterations by 2. It will calculate whatever is the present iteration is going on. Okay. That by 2, if it is 1, it will plot it. If it is not 1 or 0, it will not plot it.
Sir, why we have not taken 0 here?
Yeah, you can take 0. Actually, first iteration already I have initial value. I got it. No, that's why I am not giving that. It doesn't matter, right? You
Yes,
can
sir.
give
Okay.
0 or 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, plot X, and so the next plot it will do on the same graph. Initial wave is there, and this also will be there. And hold on, and this end is for this if, and this end is for switch. Okay, and this is hold off, means it will go for the next iteration, and it will print on that. And then end is for this while loop, the outer loop. Okay, so this completely comes out like that. Okay, that is the way
Sir?
it is given. Yes.
Sir, please explain u equal to n. That means the new value updated on u.
Yeah, because when I go for the next iteration, I should not use the first values, right? The present wave I have to use as the initial wave, and then I have to get the next wave. Am I clear or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, sir, this
Yes.
code at the end, like after each and every schemes, no, sir. This is
Yeah. After every scheme, you have to have this particular one. Okay, if you are writing separate codes, but here I am writing only once. Okay, if I take this code, so all cases I am writing here. After ending, then I am writing only once here. Right? So okay, suppose now I execute. Okay, first I will go to that. So here, this is the way it is given in the textbook. Okay, this is the solution you will get. So after 0 seconds, that is the first one, 0.6 seconds, 1.2 seconds, and 1.8 seconds, it will come like this. It is given like that. That is, he is printing after every 6 iterations. Okay. So now we will see. I will execute this. When I execute, it will ask, okay, so available choices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it is giving. Exit for any other number. Like that, it is giving the instruction. And it is asking enter the choice of the scheme. So when I put 1, so I am choosing the choice 1. So it will execute lax explicit. So I am just entering. Okay, so this is the way I am going to get. After each 0.2 seconds, I am getting the wave like this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
That's all. Okay, so I am closing it. Okay, so this is the way I have to get. And okay, Okay, I wanted to put that figure here. I could not. Okay. Anyhow, that is the lax result. Now Lax-Wendroff. Okay, Lax-Wendroff is this. Okay, the whole formula is this. Okay, so that is un of I is equal to u of I minus this is c by 2. Okay, so delta t by delta x 0.5 c into ei plus 1 minus ei minus 1. And here c square by 4 means 0.25 c square. And into this particular formula, the whole formula I will type as it is. Okay, it is like this. For I equal to 1 to 2 to nx minus 1, uni is equal to ui minus 0.5 c into ei plus 1 ei minus 1 plus 0.25 c square ui plus 1 plus ui into ei plus 1 minus ei, this one. Okay, this one, same thing. And ui minus ui plus u minus 1, ui plus ui minus 1 into ei minus ei minus 1, ei minus ei minus 1. Okay, same formula just as it is I am printing here. And same thing ei I am calculating. This is the only loop. Again,
So the EI equations, how we have written?
E is equal to u square by 2, right? I am updating E. After calculating new value for u,
Okay, sir, understood.
yeah, right? So this is for Lax-Wendroff. And so I can again execute that. So the same code, now it is asking again, enter the choice key. Because while loop is there, okay? So unless I give more than 7 number, it will go on asking again, what is your choice? It will execute again, it will ask what is your choice, okay? So choice of the scheme, 2 I am giving. This is Lax-Wendroff. Okay, this is the way I get the Lax-Wendroff. If you see in the textbook, Lax-Wendroff scheme, okay, this is the way I have to get, and that is the way I am getting. So a little bit spikes will be there here because Lax-Wendroff is second order scheme. There will be oscillation. Okay, so this is the way I get Lax-Wendroff. Next, I will go for the third one, McCormack method. Okay, McCormack method, there are 2 steps here. So one is predictor, another is corrector. Ui star, this way I am putting u star there, right? So ui star is this and ui n plus 1 is this. Okay. So for this purpose, I am calculating u star and e star. Okay. So here if I show the code for McCormack method. For I equal to 2 to nx minus 1, I am calculating u star and e star. What is u star? Ui minus c into ei plus 1 minus ei. Ui minus c into ei plus 1 minus ei. And I am calculating e star immediately. Okay, e star is equal to u star I into u star I by 2. That is u square by 2. Okay, now I calculate the second line, corrector. So uni is equal to half into this is ui, this is u star I minus c into e star I minus e star I minus 1. Okay, so that's what I typed here. And immediately I update ei also using the new value of q. Okay, so these are the 2 loops I will get for McCormack method. So if I go to this one, okay, this is the way I have to get, and I will see here, I will go for 3 here. Third method, I am going to this. So you are going to get here a little bit rounded off here, McCormack. Though it is second order scheme, because I am using forward difference and backward difference, it will dampen all those things. Okay? So like this it will get. This is McCormack method. And then first order upwind explicit method. Okay, this is a simple one. Uin plus 1 minus un is uin minus ein, upwind, right? So backward difference I will take. So this is the only simple formula, very simple formula. Uin plus uni is equal to ui minus c into ein minus ei minus 1n. Okay, so you can see in the code. So UNI is equal to UI minus C into EI minus EI minus 1. Okay, this is the only line, and I am updating E. Okay, that's all. This is the whole scheme. And when you go for the code, so I am putting 4 first up in the explicit. Okay, this is the way I get. Okay, then I will go for the next one. Okay, this is the way I have to get, right? And first order append implicit. Okay, now I am getting the implicit methods. Implicit method, you have to use the tridiagonal matrix. Okay, that you have to remember. And first order append implicit. Okay, so here same as the explicit method, UI minus 1 will be there, EI minus 1. But there, here, U square, I actually, because that is non-linear, UIN plus 1 square means it will become non-linear. So what I do is I am using lagging. So in lagging, one of them I will use the old value, another is the new value. So UIN plus 1, UI minus 1n, UI minus 1n plus 1. This is the way I write. Is it okay? I'm using lagging method to eliminate the non-linearity. In explicit method, no problem, because all known values only are there on the right hand side. There is no problem. But when you come to the implicit method, I will have unknown values, n plus 1 values, right? So here, actually I have to write UI n plus 1 square. But if I write UI n plus 1 square, that becomes non-linear. So I am writing it as old value into new value. That is one lagging. This is lagging method. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the way I write. And now there are two unknowns, right? UIN plus 1 and UI minus 1 n plus 1. So the unknown I have to bring this side. UIN I have to take to the right hand side. I'm going to get this way. This is actually bidiagonal matrix. This is bidiagonal because UI plus 1 n plus 1 is not there. Okay, because it is backward difference. So you can use tridiagonal matrix, and the other one I can make it as 0. That coefficient I should make it as 0. Okay, so this is the way I'm going to do. For I equal to 2,
So,
yes.
sir, here the tridiagonal matrix will work. There or
Yeah,
not?
it will work. That's what I'm doing. I'm using the tridiagonal only. Right here, B is 0. A diagonal is the main diagonal, C is below, and B is above. Right?
Yes, sir.
So the above one UI plus 1 coefficient is 0. Right? I am taking B to be 0.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like that. A is this one 1 plus 0.5 C UI. Okay, 1 plus 0.5 C UI. That is A. B is 0. And C will be this one 0.5 C UI minus 1. Okay, 0.5 C UI minus 1. And R will be the right hand side. Right hand side is minus UI. So R for I equal to 2 to nx minus 1, Ri minus 1 is UI. Okay, so this is the one you will get. And so the first one and the last one I have to modify. Okay, so R1 is equal to R1 plus 0.5 C UN1 because for first one, this will go this side. Okay, so this is 0.5 C U1. This is 0.5 C U1. And the last one, it will not get, because B is 0, it will not get modified. Okay, just it will be as it is. And now I call the tridiagonal matrix. CABR is given, and the new values are obtained here. Okay, same tridiagonal matrix, whatever you have, that algorithm you have to, that function you have to call. Okay, so this is the way you have to do, and you have to get this result like this. And So here, if I put the number 5, I'm going to get like this.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, after 0.1 second, we get that picture.
After
0.1 second.
no. I'm taking dt as 0.1 and up to 1.8 seconds I want the wave how it is changing. So after every 2 iterations I am plotting the wave, right? After every 0.2 seconds.
Okay, okay. First line is
Total 9 curves I am going to get
okay.
like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that is what time marching evolution of wave, how it is moving. Okay, okay, that is about that. Then beam warming implicit method. I don't know whether I explained this beam warming method. Okay, I don't know whether I doubt whether I have done in the class or not, but you can study it. It is there in Hoffman, and this is the beam warming implicit method formula. Okay, here I am going to get tridiagonal matrix. Ui minus 1 n plus 1, ui n plus 1, ui plus 1 n plus 1. There are 3. Okay, so the main diagonal coefficient is 1. The lower diagonal coefficient is this. And upper diagonal coefficient is this. Okay, and this A is Jacobian. Jacobian A is nothing but U only. Do you remember that? Dou E by dou U. E is equal to U square by 2. So Jacobian is dou E by dou U, so which is nothing but what will you get? U only.
U.
Yeah, okay. So here whatever A is there, it is U only. Okay. So this is the formula. And so if I write the code, okay, A is 1 only. So main diagonal, so the coefficient of ui n plus 1 is 1. And this is C, that is minus 0.25 C into minus 0.25 C into ui minus 1. Similarly, this one 0.25 C into ui plus 1. 0.25 C ui plus 1. This is the lower diagonal. And on the right hand side, I have this big expression. Okay, this
So
whole one.
where we have written
Which one?
a of I minus 1 ki power n. So where we have written this?
Here, huh?
Yes, sir. Sir, in
Here,
this equation, a of I minus 1 is written.
yeah, this
But
is
in
U.
code,
A is nothing but U.
so sir,
This is what
u
I have
of I minus 1 ki power n.
So see the coefficient of this, okay, lower
Yes.
diagonal, this is lower diagonal. So this is minus 0.25 C into ui minus 1.
Yes.
Okay, that's what here, minus 0.25 C ui minus 1. This is lower diagonal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like that. And this is the right hand side. Right hand side, this big expression is there. That's what I have written here. Ui minus 0.5 C ei plus 1 minus ei minus 1 plus 0.25 C ui plus 1. That's what here. Okay. That is written as it is here. Okay. And again, the first one and the last one are to be updated. Okay, this is the way beam and warming is done. Actually, here, there is one more thing I have to tell you. And beam and warming, if I do, okay, only this particular first loop, this is the only one, it is there. And if I do, it will come like this. Large oscillations will come. Again, because it is a second order accurate scheme, there is dispersion error. And because of the dispersion error, large oscillations are there. So whenever there are large oscillations, what we have to do? We have to dampen them. How we damp it? By adding explicit damping. Okay. So that explicit damping is done like this. So here I have to add on the right hand side minus epsilon e into that dou power 4 u by dou x power 4. This expansion I have to write here. So that is given here. Okay. So this is epsilon 1.1 into ui plus 2 minus 4 ui plus 1 plus 6 ui minus 4 ui minus 1 plus ui minus 2. So this is that particular one. I am adding the damping term here. And when I add this damping term, right, I have to get the result like this. Okay. So that I have done it. So this is sixth one. So this is after damping, I am getting this way. And without damping, it will be very, very large oscillations I will get. I will not get a good one. Okay, so that is damping then. This particular one, this is damping term. And here you can try with different values of epsilon. 0.1 I have given here. It can be 0.15 or 0.05 or something like that. So I should not give too large value because it may increase the error, but too small value also because it is like no damping at all. So I have to do it numerical experiment with different values of epsilon. This particular value I have to do it. Okay, so that is the beam and warming implicit method. And this flux corrected transport. Okay, this is the formula. Actually, we have Lax-Van Draaf scheme. To the Lax-Van Draaf scheme, I have to add this epsilon 1 here. Only c square by 2 will be there. So for that, I am adding epsilon 1. It is like adding a second order derivative. It is like artificial viscosity. Okay, epsilon 1. In the second step, I have to subtract this epsilon 2 into this. So this is what I am telling epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. These are used in flux corrected transport. Okay. So if you want, you can use these formulae also there. Instead of I am putting some 0.001, 0.01 like that, or otherwise you can calculate these values and put it. Okay, so this is the way I am putting here, flux corrected transport for I equal to 2 to nx minus 1, 2 steps I am putting. Okay, for calculating u star, 1 step, and for calculating un, another step. Okay, u star I is equal to ui minus 0.5 c ui plus 1 minus ui minus 1 and epsilon 1 plus 0.5 c square into this. And again the next step, this one ui star minus epsilon 2 into this. ui star plus minus epsilon 2 into u star I plus 1 minus 2 u star I plus u star minus. These are the 2 steps I have to give. Okay, so if I give that, so I have to give 7 here, enter. Whether it is a new one or old one, I am closing it. And again I am giving 7, enter. Okay, this is the way I get it, flux corrected transport. Here also oscillations are there in spite of damping. So that is, if you don't give damping, it will completely, large oscillations will be there. You will not get the answer. Okay, so this is the way I have to do. Any questions about this? So if I give 8, it will come out. Okay, invalid number, it will come out. Because I have given this here in the switch statement at the beginning. So up to case 7, it is this. If it is not, it is beyond 7, any other than or more than 7, it will give invalid number and return. Okay, so that is the way. Okay, here okay, you try to do 6.2 problem. It is also just like that step wave only. You can, I can show you. Yeah, this is the second problem. So use each of the following methods. You can use all the methods, okay? Whatever I told you, all the methods you can use. Here it is given Lax, Laxandorf, McCormack, and Beam and Warming. And the initial conditions are, instead of 1, the step is 5, okay? So again, say here 0 to 25 and 20 to 40, it is 0. And delta t is given to be 0.1, okay? So at each point at each 4 steps, you have to print it.
So delta t 0.1 or 0.4, sir?
No, this is intervals of,
Oh.
you have to plot the values
Yes.
after each 0.4 seconds. Okay, so there are iterations, comma 2, I have given no that reminder. You have to give 4 there. So after every 4 iterations, you have to print it till 2.4 seconds. Total time is 2.4, and step size is, you can take 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, so you have to print after 0.4 seconds like that. So this you can take as the homework. Any doubt?
Sir, is it possible to send all the codes like so that we can copy it, so like, and use it?
Then what
Like,
is the use of it? Anyhow, I am
uh,
showing everything, right? I am sending the video. You can
yeah,
see
yes.
everything. Then what is if I give the code, what is that you will do then?
Now, sometimes, like when there are like 7 to 8 schemes, so that it can be a bit faster sometimes.
Okay, you
Right.
can
Like,
say. See, you know I should not give the video also. You have to note
yes,
down, or you have to remember how you have to learn how to do it. If you have the code, you
yes,
will not think about it.
yes, sir.
Okay, just try, and you can always take my help. And actually, if you go through the video, every code I have given, right? So just
Yes, sir. Yes.
what is that you have to change? Instead of you 1 to 21, I have given 0. You have to put 5. 1, you have to put 5. And instead of delta t 0.1, you have to put I think same only is there
So
in this.
0.1 and 0.2 is there.
And total time 1.8 I have taken. You have to take 2.4. There is nothing much change. Only thing is, if you remember, try to recollect, and if you do by yourself and you try, let there be mistakes. You try again and again, then you can take the help of video. Then what the code I have written, just you can check what is the difference, and everything you have to learn.
Sir, for the formulae of the different schemes, it's, I think, very difficult to remember all the formulae, sir. So,
See, formula you need not remember. Everything is open book, right?
yes, sir.
Everything is with you. What is the problem?
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay. Formula you need not remember at all for this writing code.
Hello, sir. So there is a doubt. Hello.
Yes, ask me.
Sir, in tridiagonal matrix, when we call after the loop R of 1, we write, sir. I am not understanding that, sir.
See, I calculate A, B, C, and R.
Okay, sir.
So I give them as the input to the tridiagonal matrix. After calculating in the loops, I calculate in the loop A, B, C, and R.
Okay, sir.
So all I have calculated. Then I have arrays. They are arrays. I am giving those arrays to the tridiagonal matrix. It is giving me
Okay,
UN.
sir. After that, sir, last corner points U of 1 equal to U of 1 minus something. That, sir, I am not understanding.
That R1 and Rnx minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
That, as I told, see, just I'm telling. Okay, I have something ui minus 1 and plus 1. Ui and plus 1. Ui plus 1 and plus 1 is equal to okay, RHS. This is R. Okay. So this I am calculating, this I am calculating, this I am calculating. This is A, that is main diagonal. This is C, lower diagonal. This is B, upper diagonal. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this R I am calculating. So suppose if there is 2 to nx minus 1 are there, right? Okay, how many equations are there? 2 to nx minus 1 means?
Nx minus 2
nx
equations.
minus 2. Okay. So A values will be nx minus 2. R values will be nx minus 2. Okay. But C and B will be nx minus 3 only. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay.
And here, first I will calculate R nx minus 2 values. Okay. So 1 to nx minus 2, I will calculate R. 1 to R nx minus 2, I am going to calculate. And this R1 and R nx minus 2 are to be modified. Okay. Why? Because for R1, this will go to the right hand side. Because this is boundary. Is it clear? So R1 is equal to R1 and minus this particular value will come here. Right?
Sir,
and
please
similarly, yes.
Sir, I am not understanding. Please,
So
sir.
when I calculate the first value, okay, here I have like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This value when I am calculating, this is the boundary condition.
Yes, sir.
This I know it. That's why in the matrix, when I have, this will be complete and this will be one less and this will be one less, right?
Okay.
So here for this the left hand side is boundary.
Yes, sir.
So this value is to be removed.
Okay, okay.
So that is done here. Similarly, when I come to this, one value here, one value, this value is not there here. That value comes from this. This is the other boundary.
Okay, okay, sir.
So this value I have to remove from here. R nx minus 2 is equal to R nx minus 2 minus something will be there. Here some function of u of nx. Here some function of u of 1, something into u1 and something into u nx will be there.
Okay, sir.
This is the way we use it.
Okay. Understood, sir.
Okay, thanks. You are?
Sir, Rathod Kiran, sir.
Okay. Okay, you try and if there is any difficulty, you can always interact with me. Interact yourself among yourselves or interact with me. Okay. So then we will go for the story. Again, one
Okay, sir.
real inspiring story. It is about car radio. Okay, car radio, you know it many times. You might have seen, and the how it is made or something like that. It is the story behind it. Okay, so seems for us seems like cars have always have radios, but they didn't. You know it. One evening in 1929, two young men named William Lear and Albert Wavering drove their girlfriends to a lookout point high above the Mississippi River town of Quincy, Illinois, to watch the sunset. So they were gone onto the top of a hill or something. There they are watching the sunset. It was a romantic night to be sure, but one of the women observed that it would be even nicer if they could listen to music in the car, right? So their car is on the top of the hill and they are watching the sunset. And at the same time, if we can listen a nice music, it will be nice like that. One girl has proposed. And Lear and Wavering liked the idea. Both men had tinkered with radios. They have experience. Lear had served as a radio operator in the US Navy during World War I, and it wasn't long before they were taking apart a home radio and trying to get it to work in a car. They want to work on it. But it wasn't as easy as it sounds. Automobiles have ignition switches, generators, spark plugs, and other electrical equipment that generate noisy static interference, making it nearly impossible to listen to the radio when the engine was running. And one by one, Lear and Wavering identified and eliminated each source of electrical interference. But each takes time, right? They took a lot of time to do that. When they finally got their radio to work, they took it to a radio convention in Chicago. There they met Paul Galvin, owner of Galvin Manufacturing Corporation. He made a product already called a battery eliminator, a device that allowed battery-powered radios to run on household AC current. But as more homes were wired for electricity, more radio manufacturers made AC-powered radios. Galvin needed a new product to manufacture. When he met Lear and Wavering at the radio convention, and he found those people. And he believed that mass-produced affordable car radios had the potential to become a huge business. And Lear and Wavering set up a shop in Galvin's factory, and when they perfected their first radio, they installed it in his Studebaker. It is a car model Studebaker. So in that they have installed the radio. Then Galvin went to a local banker to apply for a loan. Thinking it might sweeten the deal, he had his men install a radio in the banker's Packard. So there he has installed that particular radio. Good idea, but it didn't work. Half an hour after the installation, the banker's Packard caught on fire and they didn't get the loan. See, nothing will go according to our plan. Many times we have to face the setbacks. But Galvin didn't give up. He drove his Studebaker nearly 800 miles to Atlantic City to show off the radio at the 1930 Radio Manufacturers Association convention. Too broke to afford a booth, he parked the car outside the convention hall and cranked up the radio so that passing conventioners would hear it. So the people who are coming, they can hear like that. And that idea worked. He got enough orders to put the radio into production. And that first production model was called the 5T71. Galvin decided he needed to come up with something a little catchier. In those days, many companies in the phonograph and radio business used suffix "ola" for their names, like Radiola, Columbiola, and Victorola were their three of the biggest. And Galvin decided to do the same thing. And since his radio was intended for in a motor vehicle, he decided to call it the Motorola. Okay, so that is the root cause for the name Motorola. And the name of the company would be officially changed from Galvin Manufacturing to Motorola in 1947. But even when the name changed, the radio still had problems. When Motorola went on sale in 1930, it cost about $110 uninstalled. At a time when you could buy a brand new car for $650. And the country was into the Great Depression. So nobody could afford because the whole car is $650 and the radio is $110. So in 1930, it took two men several days to put in a car radio. The dashboard had to be taken apart so that the receiver and a single speaker could be installed, and the ceiling had to be cut open to install the antenna. And these early radios ran on their own batteries, not on the car battery. So holes had to be cut into the floorboard to accommodate them. The installation manual had 8 complete diagrams and 28 pages of instructions. And selling complicated car radios that cost 20% of the price of a brand new car wouldn't have been easy in the best of times, let alone during the Great Depression. Already, the country is in Great Depression, economic depression. And Galvin lost money in 1930 and struggled for a couple of years after that. But okay, see, you can how many years they have to wait and struggle with confidence that it will work. But things picked up in 1933 when Ford began offering Motorola's pre-installed at the factory. In 1934, they got another boost when Galvin struck a deal with BF Goodrich Tire Company to sell and install them in its chain of tire stores. By then, the price of the radio installation included had dropped to $55. Okay, it became half. The Motorola car radio was off and running. In the meantime, Galvin continued to develop new uses for car radios. In 1936, the same year that Motorola introduced a push-button tuning, it also introduced the Motorola Police Cruiser, a standard car radio that was factory preset to a single frequency to pick up police broadcasts. In 1940, he developed with the first handheld two-way radio, the Handy Talkie, for the US Army. A lot of the communications technologies that we take for granted today were born in Motorola labs in the years that followed World War II. In 1947, they came out with the first television to sell under $200. In 1956, the company introduced the world's first phaser. In 1969, it supplied the radio and television equipment that was used to televise Neil Armstrong's first steps on the moon. In 1973, it invented the world's first handheld cellular phone. Today, Motorola is one of the largest cell phone manufacturers in the world, and it all started with a car radio. The two men who installed the first radio in Paul Galvin's car, Elmer Wavering and William Lear, ended up taking very different paths in life. Wavering stayed with Motorola. In the 1950s, he helped change the automobile experience again when he developed the first automotive alternator, replacing inefficient and unreliable generators. The invention led to such luxuries as power windows, power seats, and eventually air conditioning. And Lear also continued inventing. He holds more than 150 patents. Remember 8-track tape players? So it is Lear. Lear invented that. But what he really is famous for are his contributions to the field of aviation. He invented radio direction finders for planners, aided in the invention of the autopilot, designed the first fully automatic aircraft landing system, and in 1963 introduced his most famous invention of all, the Learjet, the world's first mass-produced affordable business jet. Not bad for a guy who dropped out of school after 8th grade. So he is dropped out of school after 8th grade. Sometimes it is fun to find out how some things that we take for granted actually came into being. And remember, it all started with a woman's suggestion. Okay, so that is the background of it. Okay, I found it is interesting. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, tomorrow, I think second hour is EMT, right? Officially. Bharat?
Yes, sir.
So instead of 8 o'clock, I will take 10 o'clock because he is not there. I think tomorrow he is not taking class, right?
Yes, sir.
So I will take 10 o'clock class. Instead of 8, we will meet at 10. Okay? Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, right.
Sir.
See you then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.